Hi, you guys. Welcome back to another episode of Rooted and Rambling. I'm Haven Presley, and I'm so happy that you're here. So sorry that we did not have an episode last week. I honestly had the worst week ever last week. I really tried to be a glass half full kind of gal, but last week was, oh my gosh, it was not a fun time. And I just did not have it in me to record an episode. So first, it started out with Sunday. My son got really sick, and his was just kind of like a random high fever day. There was no other symptoms. He was just super feverish, and I don't even think that kid's feet hit the ground one time. He was parallel all day long. I have never seen him lay down all day long like that in my entire life. He did throw up one time, but other than that, he was just really feverish and really tired and just wanted to lay in bed and snuggle. So it's kind of nice because I got to just lay down with him. Whenever he wants to have fun, he's all about dad. But when he wants comfort, it's mom's time to shine. So we spent 12 hours in bed together and it was really sweet. That pretty much lasted just Sunday. Monday, he was back to bouncing off the walls. Still didn't look like he felt the greatest, but was a lot better. And then Tuesday, my daughter gets it, and she threw up twice, and then, yeah, just like Beckham kind of had the fever. It wasn't quite as bad of a fever as Beckham's was, but felt like it lingered for a while. And not only that, she's getting her molars. And if you know, you know, that's literally the worst. She's 18 months old, and that's just right on track. That's when Beckham got his first molars. And I remember it taking us out with Beckham. Teeth coming in didn't ever really affect him much, but the molars, yeah, they were pretty tough for him. And it was really tough because when he was 18 months old, I was 9 months pregnant with his sister. So I remember it being so bad. I was sleeping in his crib with him every single night for a long time. I'm just holding him and comforting him, and I was 9 months pregnant in a crib, and that's just not fun. But like I said, when he wants comfort, he wants me. He does not accept dad. So those are really hard for him, and they're pretty hard for her too. She pretty much has been walking around screaming all day, every day, in pain and drooling, and then she was sick on top of it and all of that. So that's still been going on. She's probably been getting those in for 2 weeks. I remember it lasting a month, maybe longer with Beckham, so I'm anticipating that to last a while. And the week before they got sick, Hunter was sick first, so he brought home whatever. I thought I looked out and wasn't gonna get it because I went a couple of days between, but I think God was just shielding me from the week, trying to get me to make it to the weekend before I started feeling bad, because he knew I don't function well when I'm sick and I have to take care of the kids. Obviously, I feel like nobody does, because that is a tough task. So I didn't get sick till Friday, and honestly, it hasn't been that bad. I was sick Friday and Saturday, and then Sunday I felt pretty good. But I never even got a pretty high fever or anything. I just got so tired and stuffy, and then a sore throat. And I have a little bit of a cough, but I never really got the whole fever thing. It's definitely COVID, I think. So that stinks. We don't know that for a fact, but it's just what we're assuming based on the fact that Hunter couldn't smell or taste for a while. So yeah, that's been a lot of fun. And the sickness mixed with the teething, mixed with the kids aren't sleeping very well. Beckham's having a ton of night terrors lately again, which sucks. When he gets out of routine, he gets in this phase where he has a lot of night terrors, and he's been having them even in nap time. So during the night and nap time, and sister's not sleeping unless I give her Tylenol at night, which I'm trying not to do a lot, but she only sleeps if I give her Tylenol because she's in a ton of excruciating pain. So last night I got some sleep. Tonight and the next couple of nights I won't, because I'm not just going to give her Tylenol every single night because it stresses me out. So yeah, that was my week last week. That's why I did not record an episode. So we're just going to keep it light and easy today, because it's weird because I'm not feeling sick. I just don't feel good. Do you know what I'm saying? I just have these little, it kind of feels like allergies, just bad allergies. I get really bad allergies, so that's kind of what it feels like. I know I'm not contagious or anything because I don't have a fever and I haven't had a fever, so, but just not 100%. So we're going to keep it light and short. I asked you guys what your assumptions about me were, and I'm going to answer a few, kind of like a little get to know me episode again, so we can just really get down in the nitty gritty. Not really, these aren't that spicy. I asked you guys to be nice because sometimes I do these assumptions on Instagram and people can be really mean with those. So I was like, please be nice, keep them light, because I don't know why that just like invites really like passive aggressive, like kind of mean ones. So I wrote down like 10 to 12 of the most asked ones. Like I picked ones that were asked multiple times. So, well, stated multiple times, I guess. And we're going to get to answering those. I kind of like the podcast because I feel like I can go more in depth about stuff like about me and just like kind of more personality. I feel like I'm really restricted on Instagram and TikTok because for a lot of reasons, I guess. One, I have less time to talk. Two, I'm exposed to a lot more people on those platforms, whereas here I just like have all my besties. I don't know, I just feel like we could be more personal here. So let's talk about your assumptions about me. Let me pull up my phone because that's where I have these written down. Okay, the first one is a very obvious one. If you started following me post 2022, you might not even know this, but my platform started out as teaching platform, so I just shared my experiences and tips and tricks and just fun things mixed with some lifestyle too, but it was mainly teacher related content. So a ton of people that follow me are from that era, which was 2020, 2021, a little bit of 2022. And so a lot of people always ask me about teaching. So that's the first one, is you will never return to teaching because of social media. Y'all, my goal was to never be a full-time influencer like on its own. If I didn't have kids, I would still be teaching right now, probably. And if I wasn't, because I was pretty like run down my first 2 years of teaching, so I would have never quit to be a full-time influencer only. If I would have quit teaching then and I didn't have kids to stay home with, I probably would have just found something else. I have no idea what I would have done, but being a full-time influencer was never my goal. I'm super thankful, grateful, blessed that I get to do that and like provide that income for my family while I get to stay home. It's the reason I get to stay home. But yeah, that was never my goal. So I actually never even knew it was I never knew it was like an actual like thing that can make you money. Like when I started, it was purely just hobby and fun. I wasn't a big YouTube girly ever, like growing up or any of that. So I didn't really even know much about influencers. Like I never followed influencers. I literally never did until I became an influencer, and now I follow my influencer friends. But I just wasn't a big blogger, YouTuber, influencer girly before. I just didn't really know much about the world. So when I started, it was literally purely quarantine boredom, and then just kind of snowballed into what it is today. So, and another fun fact about me is I hate alone time. So when my kids go to school, I am not sitting around my house all day doing nothing. I'm not doing it. I would go crazy. When I first started having a lot of anxiety, it was the first summer that I was alone because I was teaching, so I had summers off, and it was the first summer Hunter had a big boy job. Like normally we had our summers in college together and we also worked together, so I had never been like alone really. I was like always with Hunter in college. And so that first summer I literally went insane. So I don't think I should do that again. I don't think I should ever just have unlimited free time at home. It's just not me. And also I've always been like a worker anyways. I started working when I was 15 years old and I didn't stop till I had my first baby. So I actually enjoy working and being around people and doing something that gives me a lot of purpose. Right now, what gives me purpose is first and foremost my family and raising my kids. And then on the social media side too, I do feel like I have some purpose, and I feel like that's to encourage and connect, just share life. But whenever my kids go to school, I don't see myself being a stay-at-home mom anymore. I see myself returning to teaching, but I really want to get my master's in, I don't even know what it is. Like I feel like they've changed the rules now, but when I first started thinking about this, it was like reading intervention. I wanted to become a reading specialist. When I was teaching second grade, that was my strongest subject and what I loved teaching the most. It's what I saw the most improvement in whenever I would look at my kids, beginning and end of year scores in reading and stuff like that. Like I just feel like that was my favorite thing to do as a teacher. And I feel like teachers should teach what they're most passionate about, because you put more effort in and the kids see that and feel that. Yeah, I just want to teach what I'm most passionate about. I hated teaching math and science because I hate math and science. And of course, I would teach it to the best of my ability, but I just didn't enjoy it. And of course, tried not to let the kids know that, because I want them to, be open to enjoying whatever they enjoy. I feel like reading specialists just kind of have it made. At least the reading specialists in my school, they would just, like, if they needed to be out, like to go to the doctor or something like that, they would just cancel their groups at that time. Like, they didn't have to find a sub or any of that. And they get to mix it up with different kids every day, all day. Like, they're never teaching the same group of kids at all times. They're pulling groups from 2nd grade at this time and groups from 5th grade at this time. And just like, I don't know. I feel like you get to connect with so many more kids. I just feel like it would be so much fun to reach more kids and just get to mix it up. And then you get to teach different levels and all that stuff. And I feel like it'd be a lot of fun and just like a little more flexible and enjoyable. And you're only teaching one thing. You're not teaching, math, science, social studies, reading, arts. Long story short, no, I will not continue to be a stay-at-home mom. I will probably return to education in some way, shape, or form. Haven't really figured that out yet. I said I would start figuring that out when Sissy turned 2. She'll be going to school when she's 4, so if I need to go back to school online or something, and that's going to take 2 years, or I don't know how long it's going to take, then that's why I'll start looking at that at 2. So I'll be ready when she turns 4 to do whatever I'm going to do. But we'll see. God's plan is always greater, and I don't know what he's got for me, but we will return to some kind of work. Of course, if we have a baby number 3, which I'm just not sure if we will or not, then we'll stay a stay-at-home mom, hopefully, God willing, as long as I can, until hopefully they turn 4 and go to pre-K 2. Based off our current situation, when Isla turns 4, I will return to work. The second assumption is that I had an easy time in high school. I think that's so funny because I got that multiple times in some way, shape, or form. I did, I guess, like the first 2 years, I feel like I didn't have a ton of friends, but I feel like that's kind of me being shy mixed with being like a newer kid, mixed with being in a small town, and I felt like groups were already established like so young. So I feel like I never really broke into those, but again, I was also like pretty shy my first 2 years. It wasn't until my junior years I started making a lot of friends, going out, having fun. I would say I didn't have a hard time in high school, and I wasn't ever in like drama a lot or any of that. I was just kind of friends with a little bit of everybody my last 2 years and had a lot of fun. I was on the pom team, cheer team 1 year, pom team 2 years, and I was captain, and I don't know, it was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun in high school. When I look back at my high school experience, I think it was a really positive one, and actually my 10-year reunion is coming up in September. I won't be able to go because we'll be in Disney World, but I'm just one of those, like, I would have definitely gone to that if I was in town, because I liked a lot of people, most people I went to high school with. Like, I can't think of one single person that I don't like. So, okay, this one I probably get multiple times every single time I do an assumptions question box, and that is that I was born into a rich family. And it just makes me laugh because, I mean, there's no way for like anyone to know your background unless you talk about it. I guess where people might get that kind of assumption is that I traveled a lot whenever I was in high school. But let me back up. No, I was not born into a rich family whatsoever. You guys, my mom was a teenager when I was born, okay? My mom was 19. My dad was 21 when we were born, or when I was born. I was unplanned, complete accident. And yeah, they had nothing, like quite literally nothing, because their family's also not rich, not even close. So like we just had nothing. And when I say we had nothing, I mean we literally lived in Section 8 apartments, even on food stamps at one point, briefly, I think. But I was born in a town in Texas called Wichita Falls, which has some rocky parts that we lived in. Yeah, my family is very far from rich, or definitely was back then. My mom and dad stayed together until I was 5. My dad left when I was 5 and married this woman and They moved to Hawaii together to do news. He was like a cameraman and she was a reporter. She was a very scary person. But when my dad left, my mom and I were quite literally homeless. Literally homeless. We moved in with one of my mom's friends. And yeah, so it was like a rocky start there, obviously. But of course, as my childhood went on, my mom and my stepdad got married when I was like 6 or so, and he was a pilot, and then he eventually had his own like security company, and he still does that stuff now. And then my mom got like corporate jobs, starting at, I think I was like 6, and started working her way up, and they do well now. Like, they worked really hard to dig us out of those types of situations. I was by no means ever rich. I think people have the misconception that I grew up rich because I traveled a lot in high school, and that is because my dad married into, okay, he got divorced from my first stepmom. My stepmom that he married and is married to now, she comes from a nice family who like to travel and do all that stuff. So she's kind of how I started traveling. I did travel to Hawaii, obviously, to see my dad, like 2 or 3 times, I think, is when I went to Hawaii, just once a year in the summer to see him when he moved there. But he went through some rocky stuff. A whole lot of backstory, but yeah, my dad married my stepmom now, and she comes from a very hardworking, pretty wealthy family, and they traveled a lot, and so that's where I started traveling, is when I would go to, she lives in California. So when my dad, moved to California and got a job working for her dad, that's where he met her, and they got married, and we started traveling. So when I would go see them in the summer, we would usually go somewhere fun. Like, I've been to 13 different countries, I think. That was all in like a span of 5 years in high school. Like, they would just take me to the coolest places, and on summer break, sometimes on spring break, sometimes over Christmas break. We went to Ireland over Christmas break twice. We went to Turks and Caicos in the summer. We went to Canada. We went to Norway for my senior trip, which was over spring break. All kinds of stuff like that. And also, I said I've been to 13 countries. Some of that is cruise, like included on like cruises. Hunter and I worked very hard in college, and we didn't live that typical like super broke college kid life, which I'm very grateful for. The restaurant that we worked in was amazing, and we made a really great money. So we would take cruises in college. So that's also how I got to see a lot of the world and travel a lot. And I traveled a little bit with my mom too. Went on a cruise with her. We went to Bahamas, stuff like that. So as my childhood went on, we didn't stay like dirt poor, but it started out that way. And then about when I got in high school is when I started to be able to travel and stuff like that. So I feel like that's why people think that I was born into a rich family, is because I travel a lot. The next one is that I spend a lot of money shopping and like on Amazon and stuff like that. The answer to that is no, I really don't. I do buy a lot on Amazon, but full transparency, I am an Amazon influencer, and they give me gift cards every month to shop on Amazon. If I didn't have those Amazon gift cards, of course, I'd still buy stuff off of Amazon. I wouldn't spend quite as much as I do. So that is a big reason I buy a lot on Amazon, and I have a lot to share all the time. But I really don't do a lot of shopping for me, especially. I'm kind of a penny pincher, to be honest. Like, I get really bad buyer's remorse. If an item, like, you won't typically find me buying clothing items over, one item is over $50, I'm probably not buying it. I do have some Lululemon, which I probably thought about and kicked myself for, like, for 4 nights after I bought them. But for the most part, I really don't. I'm not like a luxury items kind of girl. I am so uninterested in designer purses and shoes and stuff like that. Like, it's just not me. I just have my basics. And I just don't go crazy with shopping. For my kids, however, I do spend a lot of money on them. But they grow so fast. I feel like I'm having to buy them a new whole closet every single season. They grow so fast. And I really enjoy it. And I really have a hard time not buying them things. So if anything, I splurge on them and not so much me. I just bought like 4 new pairs of shoes because I was looking at my shoes in my closet. And I was like, wait, I haven't bought any shoes in like 4 years. These shoes are looking a little crazy. I need to buy some new shoes. But the other part of me not spending a lot on clothes too, as I do as an influencer get sent a lot of stuff, so that's nice. Otherwise I might spend a little bit more on clothes and on me. But yeah, I have more of an issue with makeup and skincare. Not so much skincare, more makeup. I have more of an issue with buying makeup than anything for me. Makeup is hard, but I've gotten a lot better. I'm trying to make myself like hit pan on stuff and like actually run out of stuff before I buy a new one, because makeup can accumulate so fast. Okay, the next one, you're a gentle parent. And I feel like I am some days, but some days I'm also not. Like, I'm just not perfect. I really wouldn't categorize myself as a gentle parent, because I kind of lose my cool. Like I do. And I feel like gentle parents have kind of made themselves seem like they're so perfect and never raise their voice and never, kind of snap. And I don't know if that's ever true for any parent. If it is, that's like an art. Like I wish I could be like that, but I do lose my cool and I do kind of snap sometimes. Especially when I'm in my luteal phase, you guys. I'm a force to be reckoned with in my luteal phase. I am not the most patient person. I grew up in a household that yelled a lot and cussed a lot and lost their cool a lot. And I feel like I never thought I would be like that. In fact, I always like strive to be the opposite. However, you do pick up behaviors from your childhood, whether you want to or not, I feel like. Because before I became a mom and I was an adult, like I would have never thought of myself as an impatient and like kind of short-fused person. And then I actually became a parent and I'm like, whoa. So I've had to do a lot of digging and a lot of like reversal in like what I know. And so that's been like honestly really hard for me as a parent, but I feel like I'm doing pretty good. When I say I lose my cool, I'm not like screaming at my kids and I'm not spanking my kids, and spanking wasn't a thing in my childhood either. But I just like kind of like snap sometimes and like raise my voice a little bit. But I'm trying really hard not to, but I don't know. Like if there's parents out there that don't do that, like I truly look up to them, like, because that is an art to be able to do that. Like that is a true skill. So in some ways, yes, but in some ways, no. Like I still lose my cool. So, and gentle parenting kind of scares me, because I like don't want to raise kids that will, and I'm not saying every gentle parent is like this, but I'm just saying you have to do gentle parenting the right way for it to be effective. I feel like to like still raise kids to be good people, respectful people, and not think that they can do whatever they want, whenever they want, with no repercussions at all. Like I feel like there's a very fine line, and I stress every day about, being the perfect parent, but it's just not possible. The next one is you don't cook. I've been very open about that, okay? I don't cook, but it's not because I don't want to or because I don't try. I do. Like, there's usually a night a week that I try something and it almost always turns out awful. And at this point, Hunter's just like, okay, like, it's okay. Like, he genuinely loves to cook. And there's been so many different things that he's perfected that, like, we don't even want to eat out anymore. We're like, he's perfected burgers at home, so we never want burgers out. He's perfected steak at home, so we never want steak out. And I just could never. Like, I just am not built with that skill either. So yes, I'm a stay-at-home mom that does not cook. My husband cooks, but he actually enjoys it. Now, during the week when he's had a tough day, he doesn't love coming home and cooking sometimes. And on those days, we might go get something out, or I might make a soup. So actually, in the winter time, in the fall time, that's my time to shine a little bit more, because I can make soups and crock pot meals. But in the summer, we like to eat like grilled food. Like my husband uses the Blackstone almost every single night, and I don't know how to use Blackstone, and I know I would screw it up if I tried. So no, I don't cook. I only crock pot and make soups for half the year, but in the spring and summer it's all my husband grilling, and I'll help like chop things up and put the sides together and make the kids plates and stuff like that, and he's grilling the meat and the veggies and stuff like that. So I'm not completely useless, but I do not cook. Well, I shouldn't say I don't cook, because my kids eat 2 meals a day that are not dinner, and I cook those. I cook breakfast, and then lunch is usually something just like thrown together, usually a PBJ, because that's all they'll eat for lunch, but I cook breakfast. The next one is you never let your kids watch TV. This is false. I do let my kids watch TV. I don't let them play with tablets. So when it comes to screen time, I'm okay with TV and movies. Well, I should say movies. I'm okay with movies. They don't watch any TV shows besides Miss Rachel, and that is really only in the car for long drives because their grandparents each live an hour away. So if we're going to see them, they'll watch Miss Rachel or a movie in the car, and I don't really feel that bad about it. So some moms do. I saw a mom the other day that was like, I feel like I'm a bad mom because I'm letting my kid watch Miss Rachel. And I'm like, I don't feel bad. I really don't. Like when my son wakes up in the morning, I love cuddling him and watching just like a Disney movie. We just watch Disney movies, really. That's it. Kind of got into Blippi because Blippi was on at the gym once, and then he was like, oh, I love Blippi, and he would ask for it at home. But luckily I think we're coming out of that because I think Blippi is so annoying, but I do think my son has learned a lot from him too. So it's kind of fun because he actually visits real places and actually teaches kids things. So he might be annoying, but I think he's educational. It's usually just when my son first wakes up in the morning and we're waiting on sister to wake up and leave the house because we're usually gone all morning. So he'll usually only have like 30 minutes or so to watch a movie or something. Loves Lightning McQueen, so that's usually it most of the time. And then on rainy days and sick days, we'll watch a little bit more, but for the most part, maybe 30 minutes a day. If we're having a really bad day, we'll watch something in the afternoon too, but we're not really home that much during the day, so they don't really have that much of an opportunity to watch TV, but I'm okay with TV. Tablets, I'll never be an iPad mom, I fear. And I don't judge anyone who is an iPad mom at all. I just personally saw too much as my time as a teacher, and I don't want my kids doing something on a screen where they're getting like dopamine hits. Like they're controlling something and getting rewarded with something, and therefore they're going to start to like crave it and be addicted to it. I've had struggles with social media. It's the same. It's pretty much the same. Your videos go viral, you get addicted to that feeling and the followers and all that stuff. It's like the same thing for kids' games, really. And I just don't want to start that, especially this young. And so my kids will never have an iPad. We have an iPad that they watch TV on in the car, but that's the only thing it's used for is movies. Next one is you film a lot of your life. And I completely understand why people would think that. As an influencer, we post a lot of videos, little snippets of our life. But to be honest, you guys, you'd be shocked at how like little videos that you see on the internet of an influencer, like how little of their life that actually is. Like you see the smallest little snippets of a day, like the tiniest snippets. People seem to think that when you are recording a vlog or something, you literally are recording the entirety like of the day. You have the tripod set up and it never comes off. That is so far from the truth. But I can see how that can be like interpreted that way. But if you actually did it, you would realize that what is shown is actually such a small part of your life. I'm actually rarely filming it. And a lot of the times when it's moments with my family, it's like moments that I would record anyways, even if I wasn't an influencer, and then I just like make it into a video. It's super simple. It takes no time. Half the time I don't even use my tripod. I just like prop my phone up on something around. That way it doesn't even like feel like you're filming it. It's just, you're just living life and the camera's just capturing it. You know what I'm saying? And I actually feel like I don't vlog anymore. Like I feel like I don't like intentionally vlog that much. I don't know why. I just kind of just like filming things I would film anyways and just making them into videos. Does that make sense? All that to say, you see a very small part of influencers' lives. Even if it might seem like they're filming a ton, they are not, I promise. Okay, the last one is you're going to have another baby and then go through with a tubal and vasectomy. I feel like that's a fair assumption. I really don't know. See, like the last time we talked about this, I was like certain we were going to start trying for a baby in like December or something, but now I'm like, ugh. But I also just had a really bad week. It's just whenever I have a bad week or things are tough, I'm just like, I can't imagine starting over right now. And one of these days, things are going to be so easy. I mean, they get easier every day, but one of these days when they're like 4 and 5 and they're like fully like playing with each other and being like, which they are now, it's just not like all the time, they're gonna be so much more independent. They're gonna be in school. Things are gonna like feel so much easier with their own sets of challenges. Of course, nothing is ever gonna be easy in motherhood, but it's just when things are really tough, it's hard to think about starting over. So right now I'm like, ugh, I don't know if I'll have another baby or not, but we'll just have to see. Like comes December, which is about the time frame we'd want to start trying if we were going to have another baby. If we get there and I don't have complete peace about trying for a baby, we will not. Because I want this baby to be fully like wanted for the right reasons, like not for anybody but our family. Like it has to be a decision that comes from my heart because I feel like my family needs it. And like I feel like my kids need another sibling. I feel like I need another puzzle to our puzzle piece. Like to complete our family, like I have to have complete peace because if I go in like kind of cold footed, foot is that the right? I don't know. If I go in with cold feet, I feel like I'll be more likely to struggle in pregnancy and postpartum. And I don't want that because I had such a rough postpartum last time. So I want to make 100% sure I feel like my family and I, like, we need this baby and everything's going to be okay. Like, I want complete peace from God telling me it's the right decision. Because if I'm not fully sure, then I'm probably not going to do it. If we do have another baby, yes, I'll probably get a tubal. And my husband will also get a vasectomy. My husband will get a vasectomy regardless. If we only have the two and we're done right now, he'll get a vasectomy eventually. And then if we have another, he'll get a vasectomy like probably right away. And then I will consider a tubal. I'll have to do more research on that. People have great things to say about it. I'll just have to see. I'll just have to see and like research. I don't want to like, do anything that's gonna cause problems or anything, but I'm definitely gonna want like extra layers of protection to not have a fourth baby because I don't know. I don't think I could handle four. If I were to get pregnant with a fourth miraculously, I would make it work, and I have faith that God would equip me with the strength to do it because it was what He called me to do if it happened. But if I can help it, I'm not having a fourth baby for sure. So I would probably be taking all the precautions I possibly could to make sure that didn't happen. But I'm not doing that right now to keep myself from having a third. So maybe that means I want a third. I don't know. Mainly, the only thing that keeps me from not wanting or not having the third, like 100%, is just going back to the gentle parent question. Like I lose my cool sometimes and I like feel stretched thin a lot, and I feel like a lot of moms probably relate to that. But I feel stretched thin a lot and I have trouble coping sometimes, and I want to be the best mom that I can be, and I feel like the more kids I add on, the harder that will be, and I don't want to do my two kids that I have now a disservice. I want them to have the best mom they possibly can. And if I get to December and I feel like it might not be possible for me to be the best mom I can be to three kids, then I won't do it. I will only want to do it. I only want to do it if I'm 100% confident that I will be okay and I will be a good mom and I'll be level-headed. But who knows if I'll get that kind of clarity and peace, but we'll just have to see where the wind blows. But as far as the vasectomy goes, that'll happen regardless. Either way, two kids or three, tubal would definitely happen if we had a third, and I was already having a C-section anyways. But yeah, okay, I'm really starting not to feel good at all. Like, I feel like I'm getting stuffier, which is, like, again, so weird because I don't really feel that sick. I'm just, like, stuffy and tired. So I'm gonna go lay down. I love you guys, and I'm again sorry that I missed last week. This podcast was never meant to be like a super serious thing. It's kind of just for funsies and kind of just like a little side hobby where I get to connect on a deeper level with you guys, and I love doing it. But don't be surprised if we do miss weeks sometimes because it's just not something that I'm gonna like hold myself to super strictly. But I am gonna try my best because I know a lot of you guys really like it. So yeah, I love you guys so much. If you feel like somebody would love this podcast, please share it with them. Don't forget to leave me a comment, a review, subscribe, wherever you're listening. So thankful for the support that you give me always, and I will see you next time.